It's through my art that I defend certain values, the rights of women, for example. But I'm not going to go on demos or be on magazine covers with that issue. It's an honor for me to play this character. She's a feminist before the real day of feminism. She's a free woman, emancipated, lots of lovers. She represents emancipation of these women in the 30s. It was quite remarkable. There were all these stars who embodied this amazing freedom of the jazz age, and perhaps if the war hadn't come around, women might have a different status nowadays, thinking about the Second World War, of course. Fortunately, we live in a country, in France at least, and in Germany too, we live in a country which is free, and as artists, we can express our ideas and our passions freely. Music can blind you, certainly. For example, there's Frantz Fanon who wrote about decolonization, talking about the trance as something which prevented colonialized people from revolting, because having been calmed by the trance, they would just grit their teeth and bear it. Art and music don't always serve to turn people into activists, but they do change the world. They change the way in which we look at the world and in which we listen to the world as well. This film talks about an artist who opens his eyes, and the concert at the end is entirely dedicated to the Roma people who didn't have any kind of sacred music, any kind of mass that could be played in a church. And that conveys a clear sense of this character. He moves away from being rather egoistic to, in the end, giving something to others as well. It's not so much consecration of him in a sense, it's more that he opens his eyes to the world that's around him. To answer your question in a different way, what touches me the most and what I was trying to describe in this film as well is when artists become committed and take action, but through their passion and through their art. Django isn't a hero, he's pulled in all directions, he tries to react, he tries to live out his music in this difficult period, but this requiem that he creates is his answer. And I think that's very beautiful when artists respond to the world around them, to the question of freedom and commitment through their actual work, not necessarily by making grand statements.